I mean, how could I not talk about this movie? Cruella de Vil, probably one of the most iconic and maybe even most scary Disney villains to date. Once played by the great Glenn Close and now embodied by a fellow Emma. Again, there was just no way I wouldn't watch this movie, so strap in kids. This is gonna be a wild ride. If I at any point suddenly end up speaking with a British accent, I ask for forgiveness. I know I'm awful at it. Don't worry, I know. But anyway, let's get this rolling. Ah, yes, beautiful childbirth. Oh, so her hair was always like this, okay.
That's unfortunate.
Meet Estella, a creative girl that tends to be a bit cruel sometimes, which is why she earns the nickname Cruella from her mother. Roll credits.
Hi, I'm Anita. Estella.
Anita? Like the Anita? Anyways, due to Estella's rebellious nature, she gets withdrawn from school, and her mother plans on moving them to London. On their drive to the city, they make a stop at a castle, fittingly named Helman Hall. I mean, come on guys, Cruella de Vil, Helman Hall. It's almost like this was taken from a children's book. Ah, yes, right, it was. My bad. Estella's mother informs her that she wants to talk to the castle's owner to ask for financial assistance. She also instructs her to wait in a car, but because it must have been opposite day, Estella leaves the car almost immediately after her mother is left. At the castle, there seems to be a fashion show, and even though Estella really tried to go unnoticed, she gets discovered quickly. Due to unfortunate events, Estella ends up being chased by 3 Dalmatians, which ultimately results in her mother being pushed off a cliff by said dogs. Ooh. Disney still keeps traditions strong. Having witnessed her mother's untimely death, Estella makes her way alone to London. Well, not completely alone, I haven't mentioned it yet, but she actually has a little puppy, Buddy, that she adopted, cause when I think of Cruella de Vil, animal lover is the first thing that comes to mind. But anyways, she makes it to London and meets fellow orphans and talented pickpockets Jasper and Horace. Yes, those two, but young and just as unfortunate. They decide to take her in, or I guess she kinda made that decision for them.
That was close. I think we lost her.
You think?
And together they become skilled thieves. Oh yes, and Estella dyes her hair red to blend in better. So you're telling me that there are people out there who don't rinse their mouth with water after brushing their teeth? And how can't you just eat bread right after without immediately wincing in disgust afterward? If that was me, I'd be sitting there like... She really must be the devil, I don't have any other explanation. Anyways, while robbing anything that has a wallet, Estella puts her fashion skills to good use by designing most of the team's disguises. However, it's evident that Estella dreams of making more of her life.
2, 3, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Estelle, la 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 la. Happy birthday to you. And me and Desmond wink and bye.
This is the nicest birthday in a while.
What do you mean, the nicest birthday in a while? All they did was get you a cake, which was stolen, by the way. Is this the first time in a while that they remembered? I get it. Regardless, it turns out Jasper managed to get Estella a job at a very popular department store called Liberty of London for her birthday. And although she's only working as a cleaning personnel, Estella chooses to see the positives and makes the best of the situation. That's unfortunate. Despite constant setbacks and being punished with a boss that talks and acts like this,
you have a circular slice of banana on your cheek. Other side.
Estella doesn't give up and always asks for an opportunity to prove her talents. However, after a particularly challenging day, Estella makes friends with some alcohol, and after a few drinks, a now drunk Estella argues with an unexpected mannequin. That poor mannequin. The next day, Estella awakes still in the store and realizes that she remade the window display in a drunken state. But to her luck, it catches the eye of the Baroness, a renowned fashion designer who promptly offers Estella a job. But to be honest, working for the Baroness isn't great either, cause it turns out the Baroness is actually Miranda Priestley, just maybe a bit worse. I know, what a shocker. Also, I haven't said it yet, but yay, another Emma! It's the Emma takeover I've been waiting for, but back to the show. So even though the Baroness is awful, she starts to show interest in Estella and her talent in fashion. Of course, what kind of protagonist would she be if she wasn't extraordinary?
This is my lawyer, Roger.
Roger? Like that Roger? The Baroness and Estella start to grow closer. However, all of that eventually ends as Estella discovers her mother's necklace around the Baroness's neck. As Estella delicately asks her about the necklace, she is told by the Baroness that it has always been her own jewelry, but was stolen by an employee of hers years ago. Estella, unhappy about the accusations made about her mother, talks her friends Horace and Jasper into helping her to steal the item back. And then the movie kinda turns into a heist movie for a moment. Estella decides to let her alter ego, Cruella, finally come to play and crashes one of the Baroness's fashion parties, which also serves as a distraction so Horace could have an opportunity to steal the piece of jewelry. And because she is wearing her natural hair color and wearing a mask over her eyes, obviously no one figures out who she is. Anyways, the plan doesn't go as planned, since the Baroness decided to wear the necklace that evening, and Horace gets caught as well, but luckily they're not the two, but the three musketeers, so Jasper manages to cause another distraction which allows Cruella to grab the necklace and give it to her dog Buddy, who tries to run away with it. However, he doesn't get far, cause the Baroness uses her whistle to call her dogs into action. As Cruella hears the shrill sound, and don't worry guys, I looked it up, and actually there are a few dog whistles that are audible to human ears, but usually there aren't, I guess. Anyways, Cruella realizes that the Baroness used the whistle that fateful night to direct her dogs to push her mother off the cliff. Hungry for revenge, Cruella fully takes over. She orders Jasper and Horace to steal the Dalmatians, heard that one before, but this time it's because one of the dogs accidentally swallowed the necklace. She also meets up with Anita, who became a news reporter, and asks her to help gain public interest for Cruella. And lastly recruits a small department shop owner, Artie, who she acquainted earlier to help her design and create her original fashion pieces. Because Cruella's version of revenge is to embarrass the Baroness by wearing trendier clothes than her, I guess. Now, the next 50 minutes is just Cruella showing up at different public events and her upstaging the Baroness with her fashion and all that jazz, of which I don't have any knowledge of. Actually, I'm so unfashionable that my friend gives me all his clothes for free just so I could wear something different than the same blue pants and a black t-shirt. But we'll just pretend I didn't say that for the sake of the movie. Anyways, during all this time of Cruella working on her revenge plan, Estella still kept going to work, keeping up the charade in front of the Baroness. She even made the Baroness's new signature piece.
I've done it again.
Of course. Yeah, right. My bad. But the plan is to get all the dresses locked away, so Cruella orders Horace and Jasper to break into the studio with the intention to get discovered, which they manage easily. I'm sorry, but how fast did they just climb up that rope? The original Jasper and Horace could never. They didn't even manage to pass an electric fence without injuries.
Extend leg. Right, now, when I count to 3, we jump. Ready? Yes. 1.
Anyways, everything goes as planned. The dresses get locked away, and on the day of the big fashion show, instead of finding beautiful dresses in the vault, they get greeted by millions of moths who had a great meal. But don't worry, there still will be a fashion show, just outside and with louder music and singing and spots.
She killed my dogs.
Now, how is it that almost all the movies I talked about have this weird undertone of possible dog murder? They're just never safe. Good thing I'm a cat person. However, the police break up the impromptu fashion show, which results in Cruella being separated from Jasper and Horace. Having put 1 + 1 together, the Baroness finally figures out that Estella and Cruella are one and the same. So she follows Jasper and Horace to their home, ambushes Cruella, and leaves her to die in a fire set by herself, like any normal human would. See, I told you guys she was worse than Miranda Priestley, and now a fellow Emma has to bite the dust. Such a shame. Because, as we all know, Cruella dies here. No way she survives this. Oh, well, you look at that, she survived. How surprising. Okay, so turns out she was rescued by the Baroness's butler, John, who reveals to her that the necklace she was so desperate to get out of that dog's stomach was a key. This is getting more and more confusing, but wait till you hear this. Said key opens a box containing Estella's actual birth records. Now, I'm gonna let you guess just who Estella's real parents are. So, who's it gonna be, guys? A. Jasper, B. the Baroness, or C. the butler? I think I need a joker for this one. Now, anyone who tipped B the Baroness gets the prize of satisfaction, cause you were right. Everyone else, I don't know what to say to you besides never go to a quiz show since you won't win. Yeah, after giving birth to Estella, the Baroness had ordered John to
Take care of it.
aka kill baby Estella. But instead he gave the infant to Catherine, a maid working for the Baroness who had tried to raise Estella as her own. Although the news caught Cruella off guard at first, she decides to continue on her quest for vengeance and with no problems whatsoever breaks Horace and Jasper out of jail, who have been previously accused of Cruella's murder. Even though they aren't immediately keen on helping Cruella out again, cause Cruella can be a bit cruel? I'm sorry guys, I just had to make that joke. But she apologizes and pulls the family card and everything is forgiven. Emma Stone with a mustache. I like it. She should wear that more often. Oh, and also she didn't kill the dog. Had to clear that up. They plan to have their final scheme at the Baroness's charity gala. And before the big day, Jasper has a word with Cruella.
No, I'm being serious.
You're cute when you are.
Okay. Well, I find it very difficult to say no to you sometimes.
It's one of the things I love about you.
Thanks.
So, you guys are like good friends, huh? Family. Uh-huh, sure. Anyways, it's the day of the charity gala and they all sneak into the party unnoticed because everybody invited to the gathering arrives dressed as Cruella, just as planned, making it almost impossible for the Baroness and her security to find their target amidst the guests. Then again, most of them probably can't see anyways. Just look at that technique. She must have worked at Sephora or another type of perfumery. It's very impressive. However, Cruella manages to separate the Baroness from a party and leads her outside, where she waits for her dressed as Estella. They meet at the same spot her pretend mother had died all these years ago and have a little talk. Cruella reveals to the Baroness that she is her real mother, and the Baroness takes the perfect opportunity to feign remorse and asks for a hug from her estranged daughter.
You're not going to push me off the cliff, are you? You're so funny, dear.
Yeah, very funny, especially because you will. But before you get worried, I'll tell you a little secret. Cruella doesn't really die, because she's Batman. And turns out, during Estella's talk with her mother, the rest of the group had asked all the guests outside, who were able to witness the Baroness's crime, resulting in the Baroness being arrested for the murder of Estella. Cruella, however, adopts the last name DeVille and inherits the Baroness's fortune as she is now the last remaining rightful biological heir. No way, that hellhole? Oh wow, she's gonna let that place go to waste in the future. Too bad. Lastly, as an honorable mention, we see that one of the Baroness's Dalmatians is pregnant. Cut to Roger and Anita receiving a little present in front of their doorstep. Well, I gotta say I don't hate this movie. However, I don't prefer it over the old classic with Glenn Close. Mostly because when I think of Cruella, I think of really evil and scary. I didn't feel like this rendition of Cruella was really scary, just a bit mean. But then again, my definition of scary is not something you should trust. I mean, I can't even watch a horror movie without having a mental breakdown at some point, so yeah, is it worth a watch? Sure. Am I gonna watch 101 Dalmatians now? You bet your ass I will.